Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a quick bonus update. Ghislaine Maxwell has been transferred from New Hampshire to New York. She is not in the same facility that Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself in. That is the MCC in Manhattan. Ghislaine Maxwell is in a place called the MDC in Brooklyn. Not quite the shithole that MCC is, but a shithole nonetheless. Not the kind of place for a so-called socialite. I wonder if she enjoyed her breakfast this morning. I know it's not the same breakfast that Chef Andy would have made for her. Or Chef Adam. But guess what? I hope you get used to it, Ghislaine, because you're going to be spending a very, very, very long time behind bars. And the days of you running around living the high life, slurping down caviar, and destroying everything in your path have come to an end. Your reign of terror is over. And now, the shoe is on the other foot because the predator has become the prey. Our article today is from the AP, and the author is Mike Balsamo. Headline: Ghislaine Maxwell moved to NYC for Epstein-related sex abuse charges. Jeffrey Epstein's longtime confidant, co-conspirator, fellow child molester, general all-around scumbag, Ghislaine Maxwell was transferred Monday to New York to face charges that she recruited women and girls, one as young as 14, for him to sexually abuse, the Bureau of Prisons confirmed. And again, not the MCC, where Epstein allegedly killed himself. She is at the MDC. Now, how long she stays there is anybody's guess. I don't have any information one way or the other that would let us know that, right? But I can tell you this. At least it's not the MCC right now, right? Prosecutors have asked a judge to schedule a Friday court appearance in Manhattan Federal Court for Maxwell, 58, who was arrested last week at a $1 million estate she had purchased in New Hampshire. And again, this whole entire estate thing smacks of disgustingness. I mean, are you for real? How is this lady who's living on the lam coming up with $1 million in cash? Cold, hard fazools. She shows up, what does she have, a Versace bag full of cash she just dumps out on the table? It's an absolute joke. She's a joke. This whole thing is a joke. And the fact that she was able to live the way she was living for so long is an even bigger joke, in my opinion. But guess what? Who's laughing now? Who's getting the last laugh? Certainly not Ghislaine Maxwell, is it? And to see Virginia and Maria and how happy they are and excited they were about this, her getting arrested, you know that things are finally moving in the right direction. Because at the end of the day, for me, when all is said and done, all I care about is justice in this case, and that the survivors are okay with the way things went. Anything besides that, I really don't care about. I want these people in prison, and I want these survivors to have a fair shot at moving on with their life. That's all. They've earned that much. They have earned the right to move on and do the great things that they were all meant to do. And Ghislaine Maxwell being in prison, being behind bars, being away from society and from everything that she loves and she holds dear is certainly a huge step in that direction. Maxwell, the daughter of British publishing magnate Robert Maxwell, was the former girlfriend and longtime close associate of Epstein, who killed himself, allegedly, in a Manhattan jail last August while he awaited trial on federal sex trafficking charges. And look how easy they try and explain it away, right? The legacy media. And I don't know how many times I have to say it. Ghislaine Maxwell is a lot more than just a confidant or his girlfriend, okay? They weren't romantically involved for quite some time, if they ever were. I have a hard time even believing that they were ever romantically connected. I just don't believe it, really. I mean, here's the thing. They might have faked the funk, right? Oh, yeah, we're together. This is my guy. This is my gal, whatever it may be. But people of incredible evil like this, they can't muster up the love for somebody else, to truly love somebody else unconditionally and go the extra mile for that person no matter what? You really think that these bipedal serpents are capable of that? I certainly do not. Several of Epstein's survivors have described Maxwell as his chief enabler, recruiting and grooming young girls for abuse. She has denied wrongdoing and called claims against her absolute rubbish. And look, who are you going to believe, all right? The girls who have been abused by these sick bastards, or these sick bastards? Again, we're not talking about he said, she said here. We're not talking about something that happened when, nobody has any idea of what's going on, okay? This isn't one incident. We are talking hundreds and hundreds of girls that were abused by these people. That's where we're at. And that's why it's so important that Ghislaine Maxwell never sees the light of day again. Jeffrey Epstein dying really left her holding the bag, because she is legit the head of the snake at this point as far as the operation goes. Now, we all know it's a lot bigger than just Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein or the Core Four. We know it's much bigger than that. We know it goes deeper than that. And we know that Jeffrey Epstein was connected and tied into all sorts of rich bankers, all sorts of obvious financial crimes. And that's all going to come out as well if this investigation is pursued the way it should be pursued. And I think a big step was Ghislaine Maxwell being arrested. Now, of course, I remain skeptical. I do not trust the Department of Justice to do this the right way. So I will definitely remain vigilant going through. Nothing has been, the battle might have been won, but the war rages on. In a letter to a judge Sunday, prosecutors said they have communicated with Maxwell's defense lawyer, Christian Everdell, who would like a Friday bail hearing where she will be arraigned. And interesting about Mr. Everdell, his wife works for the SEC. He himself used to work for the prosecutor's office. And the cherry on top, just like Dirty Dershowitz, he is a Harvard grad. Does that shock anybody? That somebody that has a degree from that den of scum and villainy would step up to try and save the day for gross-ass Ghislaine Maxwell? Doesn't shock me one bit. Prosecutors have said Maxwell poses an extreme risk of flight. Maxwell has 3 passports, is wealthy with lots of international connections, and has absolutely no reason to stay in the United States and face the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence, they wrote in a memo. She is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. They're right. She has the means, the capability, and the connections to go on the lam. And you don't have to fly to go on the lam, right? She has other means. When you're rich enough, you find a way. And Ghislaine Maxwell certainly has the funds and the resources to slither away if she is granted bail. I highly doubt that that will be the case, but I have been shocked plenty of times when it comes to my government here in the United States, and especially the judicial system. So, all we can do now is keep our eye on things, keep the pressure up, and keep fighting, keep plugging away, keep reporting on what's going on, and keep holding them accountable for bringing justice to these survivors. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. Inside of the description box, you will be able to find all of the links that pertain to the podcast. All right, everybody, until later on.